When you ask Google AI Mode one complicated question, it may not rely on one search. Behind the screen, it can split your question into smaller subtopics and launch many related searches at once, questions you never typed. Apparently, one question was considered far too straightforward.
Most of us imagine AI search like this. A question goes in, the machine already knows, and an answer comes out. But complex questions rarely fit neatly inside one search. They contain conditions, comparisons, hidden assumptions, and several smaller problems bundled together. Google calls the mechanism that handles this query fan-out. Suppose you ask, what is the best city for a 3-day winter trip without a car, with good museums and vegetarian food? That is not one question. It is a committee pretending to be a sentence. A useful answer may require separate searches about public transport, winter weather, museums, vegetarian options, and whether all of that fits into 3 days. Those are only simplified examples, not the exact private queries Google generates. But they show the basic idea. Instead of betting everything on the wording you typed, AI Mode can break the request into subtopics and search them simultaneously across multiple data sources. It then brings the retrieved information together into one response, with links that let you explore further.
In an OWL archive, we would call this sending several researchers to different shelves. Humans called it query fan-out because apparently the shelves needed branding.
Think of each subtopic as a different route through the web. One route looks for transport, another investigates weather, another checks museums, another looks for food. Because those searches run in parallel, the system can explore more of the question than one literal search might reach. Then comes the harder part, turning scattered material into one useful answer. At a simplified level, the system must decide which information is relevant, organize the pieces, and generate a response that addresses the original request. Google has not published a neat, universal conveyor belt showing every internal step, or a fixed number of searches for every question, so this is a practical model, not a leaked blueprint. Google's AI Mode also supports follow-up questions. So after the first answer, you can narrow the request, challenge an assumption, or ask it to explore one branch more deeply. Regular AI Mode can issue what Google describes as a multitude of searches. Deep Search takes the same fan-out idea much further. Google says it can issue hundreds of searches, reason across information from different places, and assemble a fully cited report in minutes. At that point, it is no longer a search box. It is an office building with a search box painted on the front. The advantage is coverage. A traditional search may follow the exact words you entered. Fan-out can investigate the needs implied by those words. In our travel example, without a car quietly changes the value of almost every recommendation. A beautiful city with poor winter transport may be a terrible answer. By exploring several subtopics, the system has a better chance of noticing those relationships. It can also surface specialized pages that one broad query might miss and give you links to inspect the underlying web sources. That is useful, but it is not the same thing as proof. A mistake can enter at every stage. If the system misunderstands your intent, it may launch an impressively organized investigation into the wrong question. If the web pages are stale, incomplete, or biased, searching more of them does not repair the evidence. And 10 pages do not always mean 10 independent confirmations. They may all be repeating the same original claim. Many magnifying glasses aimed at 10 photocopies of one bad source still produce one bad source. Multiplication is not independence. Even accurate fragments can be assembled incorrectly. A transit page may describe summer service, a restaurant list may be 2 years old, and a museum page may omit a temporary closure. Each piece can look reasonable by itself, while the final recommendation becomes wrong for your actual trip. Google itself warns that AI mode can make mistakes, misinterpret web content, or miss context, and recommends checking important information in more than one place. The links are therefore not decorative footnotes. They are your route back to the evidence.
So the better mental model is not the AI knows the answer. The system decomposes the question, searches for evidence, and synthesizes what it finds.
That process can produce broader, more useful answers than one search alone. But every step, interpretation, retrieval, source quality, and synthesis, creates its own opportunity for error.
The clever part is reaching wider. The responsible part is checking where the answer came from.